Welcome back to UniX TCG, and the awaited moment is finally here. The full reveals for Fusion World Set 4 Ultra Limit are finally here, and we can dive into them. It is early as heck. I have got my Celsius, and yeah, we are going to be looking at some Gundam gameplay later this morning, so there's so much to do. Real quick, before we jump into the full red reveals, I want to let you guys know the general itinerary. Later today, I will be dropping a UI Goku breakdown. That's the new red leader for here. And then on my Patreon at the same time, I will be releasing a deep dive into UI Goku and how I think it's going to fare into the current meta, seeing that Nats is around the corner. So if you want to go in the description, you can check out the Patreon as well as the future link for the UI Goku breakdown. Also, like I said, we're doing some Gundam gameplay on there. They're putting up a video this morning, they announced on the Twitter, so we will be definitely tuning into that and giving our first impressions. And then last but not least, on my second channel, we'll be doing a breakdown slash review slash everything you may have missed in Dragon Ball Daima episode 3. So if you want to support that channel, we are this close to being at 1,000 subscribers, so every little bit helps. Go over in there in the description, check that out. But now that we've gotten all that out of the way, let's hop into these reviews. Alright, so first on our docket, we've got Shin. This is a one cost 5k combo power searcher, and he says on play, look at 3 cards from the top of your deck, then reveal up to 1 card of Universe 7 and its special traits and add it to your hand. Place the rest to the bottom of their owner's deck in a random order. So the cool thing about this is that these top 3 searchers that don't have a level requirement are going to be able to search out combo pieces, boss cards, sturdy rocks, as well as super combos, as long as they're aligned in the traits, at the cost of having a top 3 search, because they want to make sure that your search is not as steep. So we have enough U7 cards, seeing as that for 4 sets Red has had U7 cards, to make a full deck, or just about full deck minus a couple pieces of U7 cards, and then really be able to use this. We have 2 officially, we have 2 super combos that fit within Universe 7, both the Shin from the starter deck as well as the Whis from this deck. So we're just at a point where it's like, it's here. It is literally here. You cannot avoid it. We are fully in this point of being able to have a full Universe 7 deck, so it's really cool to have something like this. We got a lot of cards to go through, so we're going to kind of go fast. The next card we're going to talk about is also a Shin, and this Shin Mini from Daima is a 1 cost 5k power, 10k combo power. Activate main, put this card in the owner's drop, give up to one of your opponent's battle cards, or choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, and it gains minus 10k power for the turn. Not quite sure how I feel about this, because if he's in your hand, of course he's never dead because he's a 10k. He's a 1 cost that reduces by 1. I feel like we have enough cards that can do this on swing or on play, but still have use as a body. Getting rid of this, like if it was an on play minus something by 10k, that would just be a strict power creep to the starter deck Whis, but at the same time, putting it in the drop just feels a little icky to me. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Next, we have got this Android 17, and this is a 1 cost 15k power permanent. Opponent's turn, if your leader's awakened, this card gains plus 10k, putting up to a 25k. You're going to notice a trend with a lot of these U7 cards. They're going to gain power on your opponent's turn so that your awakened leader can copy their attack power. A lot of them have a 25k baseline up front, and that's not really going up too high, but you'll see them start to climb as we get further and further into this video. Next, you have Mana. That's just a Universe 2 vanilla. We're going to skip. Next, you have Shensa, and Shensa is a 2 cost 20k, 5k combo power. Permanent, this card cannot be KO'd by your opponent's skills. I want to say we already got this spoiled. For some reason, his face just looks dumb. I'm like, I have to look at the Twitter. I'm trying to put all the cards we've seen at the back of this video so we can go back over them now that we have the context around them. But for now, we're just going through the ones that we haven't seen yet, or I'm fairly certain we haven't seen yet. Then you've got the Bota Magetta, and this is a 20k for 2. When KO'd, add up to 1 Botamo and 1 Magetta with cost 2 or less from your drop to your hand. We already have that Botamo that cannot be KO'd through battle or something like that, and then we have, like, I think a Magetta. I want to say it's a vanilla, but point being, you're going to be playing those cards. This is kind of a really low impact. It's not usable in draft or sealed. I really want to go constructed with this combo. It just is what it is. Next, we have a Dispo, 2k, 20k, or sorry, 2 cost 20k, 5k combo power, auto once per turn. When you take damage, this card gains plus 10k power for the turn. So the cool thing about this is there's multiple times that we can trigger it. If your opponent attacks you before they attack Dispo, he becomes a 30k for the turn. On the other end of this, if you are rolling, like if your Jiren strategy is rolling, I think Dispo is just really in a good position to pick up the gains. Like for instance, let's say you already have Jiren Forgost on board and you have this Dispo on board, and then you play a Topo and you take a life and then you put the top card of your deck into your life. This becomes a 30k, allowing you to attack with your 25k leader, your 30k Topo, and your 30k Dispo. But then, or sorry, if that's the setup, then you're attacking with your 25k Jiren, your 30k Jiren, your 30k Topo, and then your 30k Dispo. However, on your opponent's turn, if they don't get rid of the Dispo first, and they attack you, and you activate the Jiren SR's effect to take a life and then place the top card of your deck onto your life pile, this guy's going up 30k on your opponent's turn, making it much harder for red to get rid of. Not too much harder, but harder for red to get rid of, and much harder for most decks to attack over. So I think that's a little bit of a neat thing. I'm not sure if this goes into Jiren, because against blue this will mean nothing when they can sickle both the Jiren and the Topo to the grave. Like, they can really mess up your board state very easily, but it's very nice to see that we're starting to see some more payoffs to taking damage, and the fact that this can activate on your turn or your opponent's turn is definitely what I like to see. Next we have a Gohan, and this Gohan is a 2 cost 15k 10k combo power. Permanent, opponent's turn, this card gains plus 10k power. So again, we're getting up to the 25k baseline for UI Goku to copy. Then we have got the Obuni card, and the Obuni card is a 3 cost 20k 10k combo power. On play, play up to 1 Obuni with 20,000 power or less from your hand. Then you cannot play Obuni for the turn. So essentially, you're just going to be able to cheat out Obuni. You play 6 energy for 3 energy. Yeah, it's awesome. Backing up to moving on to another card, we've got Golden Frieza, 3 cost 20k 5k combo power. Permanent, opponent's turn, this card gains plus 10k power, so he becomes a 30k for you to switch up to, and that's going to be where it starts to get nice. 30k is a good value to get out of a fair amount of attacks. And then on play, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with 15k power or less and KO it. So he's going to be some small removal, weenie removal, but we all know that red has a lot of stuff. Something that I think is really cute is that Gohan and Golden Frieza did team up. 30k is the magic number for removal. A lot of good bodies have 30k on them, and the fact that if you have Gohan SR on board, or you play him and you attack with him and minus something by 15k, you can then kill a 30k by playing Frieza, and it's them going hand in hand, you know what I mean? So I think that's actually really, really cool. Just another, card we can use. Then you have got this Beerus, a 3 cost 25k 5k combo power. On play, discard 1 card from your hand, choose all of your opponent's battle cards with 15k power or less and KO them. This is literally a mini Beerus. It's a mini big Beerus, and that's interesting. That's very, very, very interesting. Now the funny part is, for 1 additional energy and I guess an extra card out of your hand, but you create an extra body, you could play the 3-drop Gohan from set 1 and then play this Beerus, and you could blow up a whole field of 25ks, which is kind of cool. You lose 1 more card in hand, but you gain 1 more card on the board to go sideways with, and that's interesting. But this card seems rather low impact. I'm not quite sure how I feel about it, and definitely the 15k stat line doesn't do anything unless you minus the entire board. So realistically, I do think this goes hand in hand with the 3-drop Gohan, but outside of that, little low impact. Unless you already have the secret rare on board. I was just thinking, my brain's catching up seeing these for the first time. Unless you already have the secret rare on the board, and then you could attack minus everything by 20 and then play this and destroy a full field up to 35, which is actually really, really powerful if you can pull that off. Now, moving on to the next card, we have this Vegeta. He's a 4 cost 30k. When attacking, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards and gains minus 15k power for the turn. This is going to go hand in hand with that Frieza. If you have this guy on the board, and you attack and you minus something, you can then play Frieza and just completely destroy it. So I think that that's actually just a really cool thing as far as that synergy goes. 4k is a lot for that effect. I don't think he necessarily does enough to warrant being a 4-drop. I keep saying 4k, a 4-drop. Sorry guys, it's early. But I think that, like, this is still a decent card. Next, you have this UI Goku, 4 cost, 30k power, 5k combo power, and then permanent opponent's turn, this card gains plus 10k power. So it becomes a 40k that you can copy with your leader. You're starting to see the trend here. A lot of the cards here go up on your opponent's turn, making them harder to attack over, making them harder to remove by the fellow opposing red deck. Not at all harder to remove by the removal effect that yellow has, or blue in general, or even black. These cards are kind of sitting ducks. They have no real protection. So they're really only great against opposing red decks, and I'm not sure how popular red is going to be next set. We have to see, but it's definitely interesting. Now this big boy, we got 6 cost Jiren, 40k power, 0 combo power, permanent. This card cannot be removed from the battle area by your opponent's skills. Godsend. Godsend, because that means your opponent cannot Zeno this card, your opponent cannot bounce it. The only thing they can do is neg this dude from 0 or from 40k to 0 or attack over it. And on play, if your leader has Pride Troopers in its special traits and your opponent's life is at 2 or more, you take 1 damage. Then deal 1 damage to your opponent. So the couple things here, I always like noting this. It says Pride Troopers in its special traits. If they plan to make another Jiren leader in a set or 2 or 2 sets, they would just say Jiren. But the fact that this says Pride Troopers leaders, or Pride Trooper leaders, already lets us know that we're gonna get a red topo at some point. A red topo or like a red X topo when we get dual colors at some point. But just note that it said Pride Troopers in its special traits, so there's going to be another red non-Jiren Pride Trooper down the line. I'm assuming it's going to be topo. Next, the other thing is this is essentially a double striker for Jiren. Make no mistake of that. I know some of you guys are like, but it's not a double striker. If your opponent has 2 life or more, you are burning them for 1 and then giving yourself 1 damage. What this means in Jiren's deck is that you're going to be, if they're on 2 life, you tap 6, you burn them for 1, you draw 2 cards because you're going to take a damage and you're going to draw a card for that. And then you have whatever you have on board to go in on that last life, including your leader, and then you can shotgun on a base 40. So this is essentially a double striker for Jiren. It is a little hefty, but I think that getting your opponent down to 1 and then putting it all on the line is just really cool, especially with the hand that Jiren will be able to build up sometimes. That's just going to be insane. Like, just think of some of the hands. When a Jiren game is going right, you might have 19 cards in hand, and forcing your opponent down to 1 life and then attacking them and then dropping every single card you have in your hand onto this 40k. Whew. Talk about Korida Orida. Like that is over. We're here for it. We're here for it. But wait 1 sec. Gotta get that quick word from our sponsors and then we'll keep it pushing. Alright y'all, taking a quick moment to shout out the sponsors for this video. First up is Mystic TCG, a store based in Missouri that sells all sorts of TCG product, even more than what you see featured here on this page. They also buy singles, collections, and prize cards, so make sure you actually catch them out in their store in Missouri at an event, or even on their Facebook, just to be able to see the events here, but also ask them what they're up to and what they're looking for in terms of vending. You can also use the code UNIXTCG to get discounts off your pre-orders as well as orders, so make sure you get your TCG product while it's hot. Then you have Eclipse Cards and Hobby based out of Texas, and if that sounds familiar, they did sponsor me with a box of Fusion World Set 1. But as you can see on this page, there is a plethora of TCG products that they are actually having for sale at their establishment. You can also even buy things that aren't just TCG products. As you can see on the screen right here, they hold their own locals, they hold their own events, and they are going out to more and more events. You can actually check their Facebook to see their schedule, as well as call and ask about their vending list. And at the checkout for their website, you can use the code UNI10X to actually get percentages off your pre-orders or your orders. So go check it out as well. And we're always up to all sorts of things in Universe X, so you can go down the description and check the link tree to find out about my other channels, my Twitch, or any other avenues that I'm creating content on. But if you want to go the extra mile, you can always go down to any description on any video and find my Amazon affiliate links. These products here will differ from video to video to cater to the audience in question, but it's just very easy to see something that you may like or be interested in, open it up and choose the style and or color that'll work for you. All proceeds will give kickbacks to the channel, so it'll be some direct support, and I'll always appreciate the help from you guys. So with that being said, let's get back to the video. Excellent stores, guys, excellent owners, and a great place to shop for your TCG needs. If you're looking for Ultra Limit online, make sure you go to either one of these sites and use my codes to get discounts on them. But yes, let us hop back into the content. Alright, back to spoilers, reveals. So next we've got Extreme Ultra Instinct, and this is going to be an extra card. Activate main, choose up to one of your battle cards with an original power of 30k power or more, and Universe 7 and special traits. And it can't be removed from the battle area by the skills of your opponent's battle cards until the end of your opponent's next turn. So essentially, you're going to try to keep something on the field for UI Goku to copy and make it an irremovable rock, but also protect your assets. This is a really good card to protect your double striker that may be left vulnerable, things like that. That's actually pretty cool. I'm digging that. It doesn't really stop from getting attacked over, but maybe that's all you really need, because in this case, by that time of the game, sometimes you're trying to go face while moving things through effect, and this is going to force them to attack something, and depending on if you have certain cards in conjunction with it, it could be even stronger, you know what I'm saying? So I'm thinking that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. But this is going to be stuff that we definitely dive a little bit more into in today's second video, which is going to be the UI Goku breakdown. So like I said before, make sure you watch out for that. Next, we've got Inexhaustible Power, and this is a 2-cost extra card. Activate battle, your turn. Your cards that are in battle get plus 25k power for the battle. Then choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, and it gains minus 1,005 or 15,000 power for the turn. So this is interesting. It's really a huge boost, and if you're going off of what you're able to do, like if you're swinging on a battle card, this is a battle card eradicator. For 2 energy, making a 40,000 power differential is insane. Like, just think about if your opponent has a 8-drop Broly on the board and you attack it with your Jiren, and there's just like, you know, you have a 30k to their 45k. JK, now they're at 30k and you are at 55k. That's powerful. So yeah, this is interesting. I'm not sure if there's space for it, but I definitely feel like this is cool. It's also on your turn, so you can't use it defensively. We got to kind of see how it works, but I'm not quite sure about how I feel about this card. We will have to kind of see in the future. Next, you have got Keep Aura, because we're giving Jiren some flair. Like, it's funny, when we get a Jiren leader, we don't have as many Jiren cards in this set. But now that, you know, we don't have a Jiren leader card, here we go. Heat Aura. 3-cost, activate main. If you have a Jiren with 30k power or more, choose all of your opponent's battle cards that gain minus 25,000 power for the turn. This will clap up most boards. The other funny thing about this is it says if you have a Jiren with 30k power or more. So I'm assuming, I am going to go out on a limb here and assume that we might be able to, let me see what we can do, but if there's any way for us to pump up our leader, then we can also use this with our leader, because it doesn't say Jiren battle card, it just says a Jiren. So if there's any way to pump up our leader, we could use this without having a 30k on board. Either way, I think this is actually pretty cool, and I'm here for it. I'm literally here for it. I think it's a cool 25k is a really good stat line. You can clap a lot of board setups with this. Now we're over to cards that we have seen before, and this one is the Son Goku Mini from Daima. I am just really excited to see Daima episode 3 later today. That is on Crunchyroll, I think at 1 p.m. Eastern time. So yeah, for you guys that haven't gotten on yet, please catch up. It is awesome. And if you want to just kind of live vicariously through me, like I said, I break down each episode in great detail, like 20-something minute long breakdowns on everything you might have missed. Gotta give that plug because I want that channel to grow. But this Goku, we've talked about it. He's a very good card. He has a mandatory self-awakening, so you kind of gotta worry about that. But when it comes to the cards that we have seen here, I'm just gonna kind of go over them in terms of if we've been given any new context to make them better. I don't want to rehash the same cards that we've talked about a bunch of times. So with this guy, not really. I mean, Goku, UI Goku, he is going to be a leader that can take a lot of life because he needs to awaken, but maybe you just slow roll most of the game. The point is, I think this guy is going to be solid in red, but I don't think the reveals did this guy any more justice, you know what I'm saying? Then you've got Great Priest. We didn't gain any angel cards in this set, so it's not like this guy is any better than he was when we first saw him. It's just like, okay, like he does his thing. Then we got the Topo. This Topo is just a good standalone card. He doesn't really gain anything from the cards we just got spoiled, but he does have an interesting interaction with the Dispo that I was talking about. Like if you have Dispo on the board and you play this guy, then congratulations, you have a 30k Topo and a 30k Dispo to swing with for the turn. And I think that's actually a really cool offensive setup. I think Jiren was trying to be very defensive, but I think this set will see him be able to play more of a tempo-oriented game with both attack and defense on the clock. Then this Frieza. This Frieza doesn't really have anything that it gained, if I'm not mistaken. You really just are kind of able to... its effect is a standalone effect. I don't think most of these cards necessarily... Like, they were all straightforward, so I don't think many of these cards really just... You look at something and go, oh, snap! This is so much better by the spoilers. Red was straightforward. We saw the SRs, we saw some of the spoilers, we knew what we were getting. Then you've got Zeno. After Zeno being, you know, just coming in and minusing everything by 25, that's cool and all. I do think that when you have the fact that Jiren at least can do a full board clear for minus 25, you have Beerus in Universe 7. I think that this guy going for 20 or going for 6 and competing with the SCR that's coming out isn't the best. Unless we just have a format that randomly lines up with a bunch of things being at 25k or 30k, I'm not sure how much this Zeno is gonna bang. But then you have this Goku, and essentially the Goku is gonna be searchable by the Shin 1-drop, so that's really, really cool. If he's in your top 3, you can pick him up. I definitely like that. And then past that, I don't think you got additional help, really. You can actually use Extreme Ultra Instinct. That's actually something that is cool. Extreme Ultra Instinct on the SCR does make him a 40k body that cannot be removed by effect, and you'll probably be able to defend him pretty well. So yes, I think that he did get some help for sure. Then you got the Whis Super Combo. It can be searched out by the Shin, so this is infinitely better than it was yesterday before we knew that it was searchable. And then you have got the Arc Enemies team up. This didn't gain anything. Like, we got a Frieza that's like, I think 20k on your turn, right? And then 30k on your opponent's turn. Yeah, that is what that is. And looking at this, it is Activate Battle. So it says if you have a Frieza battle card with Universe 7 as special traits, your Son Goku that's in battle will get plus 20k. So this is actually really cool, because if you have Golden Frieza on the board, right? Then, yeah, if you have Golden Frieza on the board, I'm fairly certain that if they want you if it just needs to say Frieza, that kind of sucks. But it is cool that as long as you have a Frieza on board, you should be able to boost up by 20k. So they'll have to kind of worry about your board a little bit more. It seems a little risky though, because if you're playing against like blue or any deck that has enough removal to remove your stuff before you even attempt to attack, then you could be in a little bit of a hurt, because they could remove your board and whatever they can do to your board before you get to your Activate Battle window, and then if they just remove the Frieza, this card is dead in hand. So this card might be a little risky to play. We do have to see. But those are all of the red spoilers for this go. So yeah, let me know in the comments what you guys think about the red reveals. I'm thinking that there are some gems in here, but nothing... I don't want to be negative, but I personally am not a fan of the UI leader, and I think that a lot of this color was kind of dedicated to his playstyle. So we're going to do another video up next that's going to dive into the UI Goku just leader in his deck and the way it looks like they're wanting you to play it. So stay tuned for that. It should be up in a couple hours. And with that being said, guys, thank you guys for your support. We're really going to crank it into high gear this week. And yeah, check out the other avenues of Universe X. You can check me out on the Patreon for a deeper dive into UI Goku today, and then you can also go over to Universe X to check out Sparking Zero gameplay or Dragon Ball Daima things, or just Dragon Ball stuff in general. So with that being said, I'll see you next time.